Hello, my friends. This is Rabbi Aharon Dobinsky coming to you today from the holy city of Yerushalayim in the beautiful state of Israel. This week earlier, I took my Rebbe out for coffee, and we were sitting there drinking, and I noticed something that made me smile. I don't mean, I mean a huge smile, brought a huge smile to my face. What was it? I saw two little girls playing with their father. And the unbridled joy, the way their eyes sparkled, the way their smiles took over their whole face, the happiness that was so unusual for people in today's life because we always feel so serious. But this was incredible. Nothing was holding it back. It was all happiness. It was all joy. The thought occurred to me, why don't we live lives like that? Well, let's take a look at the differences. How can they live a life like that? How can they be so happy? How can they be so joyful? Well, for one thing, they're with their father, and they know that he'll take care of them. They know that nothing bad can happen to them. Nothing bad. And when I say bad, I mean it in the purest sense of the word. Bad, evil, something is bad that will take advantage of them, that will hurt them. Nothing. And in their mind, that safety, that surety, that joy and security, that's what makes them have that unbridled joy. And I ask myself, why don't we have that? I mean, we have the same kind of life when you think about it. We have a life with our Father in heaven. We have a life where He watches over us. Nothing bad comes to us. No, we think sometimes it's bad, but let's face it, we all know we go back to basics. Everything comes from where? From Hashem. And it all has a purpose, because why would He waste any effort doing something that had no purpose? And it is always, whether we see it or not at the moment, whether we see why or not at the moment, it is always for our ultimate best. Always our ultimate best. Our ultimate best is to make us live a joyful, loving, fulfilling life. We've talked about this over and over again, but it bears repeating. That's the life we want. A life of love, a life of joy, and a life of fulfillment. Now, if we knew we had that, would we not have the same unbridled happiness? Would we not have the same sparkle in our eye, the same smile on our face? Of course we would. So why don't we have it? I mean, look at the life we have. We have Torah. We have the written Torah. We have the oral Torah. The oral Torah, which has been given to us after it came down from Sinai to Moshe Rabbeinu, and it was kept oral for years and years and years and years and years. Finally, it was written down and codified in the Mishnah, and then finally the Gemara Bavli, Gemara Yerushalmi, all these wonderful texts which tell us how to live a life of love, of joy, of fulfillment. And what would happen to us if we get off the track so that we know when we're off, which can make us get back on the track. Oh, my friends, it's a wonderful life that we've been given. But that's the problem sometimes. It has just been given to us. What did we do to create any of the things that I mentioned? What did we do to create Torah? Well, there are those who would argue that our souls were present, and they probably were. But I'm talking about us as individuals, the people we are today, the human beings walking around on 2 feet today, pumping blood out of our hearts and sucking air into our lungs. That's what I'm talking about. What about us? What did we do? Did we write the Gemara? No, we didn't write the Gemara. Did we write the Mishnah? No, we didn't write the Mishnah. Did we write the Shulchan Aruch? Of course not. We didn't write any of these things. We were the beneficiary of so many who came before us, who wrote these things, who fought for these things, who died for these things, who gave blood for these things, so that we could have them today. And like a lot of things that we have that we didn't have to work for, We don't fully appreciate it sometimes. Sometimes we do, but sometimes we don't. Remember we talked about an expression before called bread of shame. Bread of shame being us receiving something that we produced no effort for. We remember we talked about it since the beginning of time. Since the very beginning, Hashem, who could have created an absolutely perfect world, didn't. Why not? Because he wanted us. Not us right now as we are today, but mankind, humankind. He wanted the humans of the world, his children, to participate in the creation. And how could we do that? He left things that needed to be fixed. He left tikkunim that we can take care of. And we, our souls go from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, have accumulated our own tikkunim. And we have to take care of these. We have to correct them. We have to try and correct whatever Hashem has left for us to correct. These are the things that give us purpose in life. These are the things we should be striving for. So how do we do this? Well, we spread this information. We didn't write it. We are barely sometimes cognizant of all that it is, but we learn. And we learn as much as we can, as fast as we can. The Rabbi Nachman says, it's not so much to be frightened or upset about what you can't do. Do all you can do and keep striving. Hashem appreciates that as well. So part of all that we can do, because I've heard people say, I know, I've tried to learn Gemara. It's too hard. I don't get it. I can't learn Shulchan Aruch. I've read it until I'm blue in the face. But it's just beyond me, and I don't know what to do about it. And you do what he said. You do what you can do. You learn what you can learn, and then you take the next step. And this is very important. You pass it along like it was passed to you. It's like being in a giant relay race. You pass the baton that you were handed. Gemara, Mishnah, Shulchan Aruch, Torah, all of these things that have been handed to us, it is our responsibility to take care of them and to hand them on as much as we can, as fast as we can. Because the more we do that, the more we are filling our obligations. And that's what we want to do. We want to fill our obligations. When we do that, who do we make happy? Oh, we make our Father happy. He looks down at us and says, my children, look at you. Look at what you're doing. You're so wonderful. This has been given to you, and you're now taking the trouble and the time and the effort to give this to others, to make sure that others know about this. Even if we can't teach them, we can guide them to what it is they need to know and help them to get a Rav, a rabbi, somebody they can attach themselves to. I don't know about you, and this is something we do in Breslov, and everybody I know in Breslov does something fairly similar to this. Every day, before davening, I bind myself to the tzaddikim, the ones from our generation, the true tzaddikim from our generation, and the true tzaddikim from previous generations, those who are interred in the earth, but what they've done and what they've left behind. Their bodies are interred in the earth. What they left us is more valuable, and it's still here. This is what we start our day off with. This is what I start every davening off with, to bind myself to these people for what they've given to us, and to take on a sacred trust to give this to the next generation, to our children, to their children, to their children. This is a sacred trust. If we do this, we make our Father in heaven very, very happy. And now, when we're with our Father in heaven and He's happy, He makes us very happy. He makes us understand that He's watching over us, that we can have the same joy that those young girls had with their father, that they can know that we are taken care of, that He's watching over us, that He wants us to be happy, that He wants us to be healthy, that He wants us to be complete, that He wants us to have a joyous, loving, and fulfilling life. So if we do these things, we too can have the unbridled joy of these young children. My friends, have a great week ahead, and try to go for those sparkling eyes and those big smiles. You have it in you. You can do it. And if you do it, most people will wonder what you've been up to. It's okay. Let them wonder and enjoy it. God bless you all. Have a great week ahead. Be well, my friends.